Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so terrifying, that it felt more like a message than a nightmare? Tonight, we take you deep into the haunted mind of Elijah, a man plagued by a vision he can't explain, and a voice that won't let him rest. What if the dream you fear most holds the key to saving countless lives? Stay with us and listen carefully. The message in the dream might not be just for him. The title of the story is The Echo in the Dream. For the past 2 weeks, Elijah had not had a single full night of sleep. Every time his eyes closed, he was young into the same harrowing night. A burning forest, screams in the wind, shadow figures standing amongst the flames, and a voice whispering his name, not softly but urgently, like a warning. He will jolt awake the same moment, drenched in sweat, heart pounding, eyes searching the dark for something he couldn't name. Doctors prescribe pills, friends offered advice, lavender oil, calming tea, breathing techniques, but nothing stopped the dream. It wasn't just the nightmare that haunted him. It was the feeling that something real was inside it. Elijah wasn't superstitious. He was a software engineer who believed in data, logic, and evidence as well. But these dreams felt different, as though a part of him was being pulled through time, through memories not his own. The third week began, and he was unraveling. Dark circles blurred under his eyes. He forgot simple things, like turning off the stove, feeding his cat, Milo. At work, he typed keywords into lines of code. Finally, his manager sent him home and told him not to return until he got some rest. That night, Elijah sat on the floor on his apartment, surrounded by empty teacups and open books on dreams, symbols, and subconscious. The city light blinked through his window like tired eyes. He decided not to sleep, not yet. But the weight of exhaustion betrayed him. He slumped sideways, eyes drifting closed, and the nightmare came again. He stood in the middle of the forest, cloaked in ash. Trees cracked and fell around him. Embers floated like dying fireflies. The shadow figures stole still among the flames. But this time Elijah forced himself to move towards him. As he stepped closer, the wind howled louder, but the figure's voice cut through like glass. Elijah, you must remember. Remember what? Elijah yelled, the heat licking his skin. Who are you? Suddenly the figure raised its arm and pointed. A wall of fire surged behind it, revealing a stone well hidden beneath ivy. Carved into the well's edge were strange markings. Elijah squinted. They were symbols, but not unfamiliar. He had seen them before. Then he awoke, gasping. Elijah grabbed a pen and scratched the symbols before they slipped away. He paced the apartment like a madman. Somewhere deep in the stacks of his childhood things, he remembered the box his grandmother had left him after she died. A leather-bound journal. He flipped it open. After frantic digging through closets and dust, he found it. An old set of blocks, still sealed. Inside were faded photographs, past flowers, and a leather-bound journal. He flipped it open. The first page was a shock, the same symbols from his dream. His grandmother had been a folklorist obsessed with ancient myths and spiritual traditions from Indonesia. The journal was filled with field notes, transcription of oral stories, and drawings of sacred sites. One story stood out. There is an old well deep in the forest near Kampung Patah Angin. The villagers say it is cursed. They believe it is a gate, a bridge between the waking world and the spirits of the earth. Dreams are their messengers. Elijah's blood ran cold. Patah Angin. That was where his grandmother was born. The next day, he booked a flight. A week later, Elijah found himself standing in front of the forest that bordered Patah Angin. He was just lagged, sleep-deprived, and driven by something deeper than reason. With help from a local guide, he ventured into the forest. A horse passed. The trees seemed to press on him. Just as the sun began to set, he saw it, the well from his dream, half swallowed by moss and silence. His knees weakened. It was real. He approached slowly. The symbols were etched just as they had been in the dream. He felt an odd hum in the air, like something unseen was watching. He placed his hand on a stone and a voice whispered again, this time outside of any dream. Below. He turned to the guide, but the man had vanished. Suddenly, the earth trembled slightly. The ground near the well cracked open, revealing an entrance, a narrow passage spiraling down into earth. Elijah didn't hesitate. With his phone light, he descended the tunnel. Beneath the well was a chamber. The walls were covered in more and the same symbols, and in the center lay an ancient wooden box. When he opened it, he found brittle scrolls carefully wrapped in fabric. Unfolding one, he gasped. Maps, geological data, warnings written in Old Sundanese script and Latin. Back on the surface, he spent the next day getting the scroll translated. The text revealed that the well was built over a fault line, and not just any fault line, but one that had shown extreme seismic activity in the past. The ancient villager had known somehow that it was due for another rupture, and soon they had passed the knowledge on through dreams and symbols, hoping future generations would remember. Elijah's grandmother had discovered the stories, but hadn't been able to decode their urgency. Now they were calling to him. Within weeks, Elijah published the findings. Scientists confirmed that the region was sitting on a time bomb. Emergency protocols were launched, evacuations were planned, and the lives of thousands were saved. Months later, Elijah stood by the edge of the forest once more, watching children play in the newly built safe zone. Reporters has called him a hero. Some even whispered about prophecy. But Elijah knew the truth. He was just someone who listened. That night, for the first time in months, he slept. No nightmares come, just peace, and the soft voice of his grandmother saying, "Good, you remember." What seemed like torment from the subconscious was in truth a warning from the past. Elijah chose to listen, to follow the fear, and in doing so, he uncovered a truth buried by time and forgotten by the world. Sometimes our nightmares aren't to haunt us, but to guide us. And if a voice ever calls you in the dark, listen, it might just save your life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales from the edge of the dreams and reality. Goodbye.